Okay, so I'm going to be talking about alcohol and my relationship with it. More importantly, why I don't drink it. Just want to point out, I have absolutely no problem with alcohol. I have absolutely no problem with people drinking it. I just thought I'd talk about my experience with it, I suppose. This isn't like a super serious video, so I don't want to make it really serious. I've still got my subscribe thing, so if you want to listen to that, feel free. But I'm gonna sort of tell you like the story of how I started drinking alcohol and then I decided that I didn't want to. So when I was sort of growing up, I never really had the inkling to try alcohol, and I just sort of decided, you know what, I'm not gonna drink. End of story. No, I'm joking. And I was quite adamant about that, but I think the reason I chose that was that I wanted to be like, I don't want to drink, like, yeah, I'm gonna be different, I'm not gonna drink. And then I got to Boxing Day, I think 2015, maybe even 2014, I can't remember. My cousins and my sister are all older than me, and they were like, why don't you just like give it a go, and if you don't like it then it's fine. And I was like, you know what, why not? So I had a bit to drink on Boxing Day. Like, I didn't get drunk, you know, I got a little bit tipsy, because pretty much I was a lightweight. I'd never had alcohol before, and it was the first time me drinking it, and I had like a raspberry vodka shot like straight up, and that was like my first experience with alcohol. And I was kind of like, okay. So I did it, and I was kind of like, right, okay. And I was also getting to the age where people were having parties at school which did have more alcohol and more people were drinking alcohol. And yeah, so whenever I went to parties, I would just drink it because I was like, well, I suppose this is just the thing you do, isn't it? I've personally never experienced a hangover, and I think that's just because I've never sort of drunk enough. So I've always drunk enough to get sort of tipsy and maybe kind of like not really knowing what's going on, but I've never had enough so I'm completely out of it and I'm like throwing up everywhere. Not even that long ago, I decided that I just didn't like alcohol and I wasn't gonna drink it just because I had to. So the way I sort of came to this conclusion was I never liked the taste, like, at all. No matter what the drink is, I just don't like it, whether it's like a Copperberg or whether it's like Smirnoff or something. I never liked it, and I think that's just because I can always taste the underlying alcohol taste, and I just don't really like that taste, I suppose. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. And everyone I said that to was like, oh, well, you don't drink alcohol for the taste, you drink it to get drunk. And I was like, right, okay, so it doesn't matter that I don't like it. So I just kind of continued drinking it because I was like, oh, well, that's just what people do. People just do it to get drunk, I suppose. And then I realised that I didn't even like that. I didn't like the feeling of being drunk. It's not about the fact that you're like not in control, because I never really let it get to that point anyway. I just don't like, you know, feeling dizzy. I get the feeling that I'm very sort of separated from reality. If you want something to sort of like put this next to, if you ever heard of like derealization, depersonalization, it's the same feeling as that. And that's what I'd get when I was drunk, and I hated that. It always made me panic so much, which made me feel sick, which it's not good for me. There goes the sun. Rude. I have a phobia of throwing up, like a very bad one. If I think I'm going to throw up, I will start crying, and that is not a good situation to be in. Anytime I'd start to feel sick, I would be like, no, oh my god, I need to stop. And I'd only have had like 2 drinks, but I'd start to feel sick and I was like, no, I can't do this. I'd always get very, very scared thinking I was gonna throw up. As well, when I start to panic and when I start getting a little bit anxious, I do start to feel very sick, which yet again makes me feel more panicky, which is basically a loop which doesn't end very well. I've never got to the point where I've blacked out drunk. I've never got to the point where I've thrown up drunk or that I've woken up with a hangover the next day. But I have got to the point where I've been very giddy and I have sort of not really known what's going on. You know, I'm not out of it completely, but I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, what's happening? I don't really know. Even after sort of like 2 drinks, I did not like the feeling at all. Even though I wasn't that drunk, I just didn't like it. And yet again, it made me panic, and I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm not very comfortable. So I basically just decided that, you know, alcohol wasn't really for me and I just didn't want to drink it, you know. I didn't like the taste and I didn't like the feeling it gave me. Whenever I tell people that I don't drink, a lot of people make a lot of assumptions around it. So they either think that maybe I don't like the feeling of not being in control and I don't know what I'm gonna do and stuff like that, or they'll come up with just, you know, the fact that maybe I think it's dangerous or something like that. But honestly, it is such a simple reason. It's just the fact that I don't like it. And I know this might seem like such a stupid video of me just basically saying I don't like alcohol. But the thing is, for the first sort of couple of years that I was drinking alcohol, I thought that you just feel like this because this is how you're meant to feel because you're meant to drink alcohol. And I didn't realise that there are people who just don't drink it just because they don't care for it. I think what I wanted to do is normalise that. Obviously there are people who don't drink it for bigger reasons, and that is completely fine as well. It is completely up to you how you sort of stand with it, I suppose. It's just that I don't like the feeling of it. I have no problem with other people drinking it. I have no problem being around drunk people, as long as they're not too annoying. And I'm also not even against me maybe having one drink at special occasions. I just don't see the need to spend the extra money when I don't like the feeling of it. I would much prefer to just get a Diet Coke and enjoy myself a lot more, rather than spend the extra sort of like £3 to have it vodka in it, because I can still have a good time without drinking, because honestly I have a worse time when I do drink because I feel horrible all the time and I feel very uncomfortable. I don't really have a lot of places I sort of do drink alcohol, I suppose, anyway. I just much prefer a calm night at home, or maybe just going to a restaurant or like the cinema. I'm very much a home bird. I'm very much not an introvert. Like, I like being around other people, just maybe not drinking and getting drunk. That's everything, I think. I will be going to Comic-Con tomorrow, or when this video is up I will probably have been to Comic-Con. I'm not dressing up as such. I just have a jacket and this, but I will post photos on my Instagram if you want to see it, and on my Snapchat, so follow me on those, because plug. Thank you very much. I will see you soon. Bye! Sorry if you were expecting like a really dramatic and oh my god thing from this video, but nope, I just don't like it. Sorry.